Hello friends, I am Professor Prashant Kohli, Assistant Professor in Chemistry, MEP Samaj, Arts Commerce Science College, Nandgaon. Friends, in the last video we discussed about coordination compounds. So that video was part 1 for the coordination compound, where we discussed some basic concept related to the coordination complexes. Some basic terms like what is complex, what are the types of ligands, their examples we discussed in the last video, that is a part 1. In this video, coordination compounds part 2, we will continue with the same topic of coordination chemistry and discuss some terms related to the coordination complexes. So there is a short differentiation among the complex salt and double salt. So what is complex salt, what is double salt? We are going to discuss. In complex salt, the complex salt simply the coordination complexes in which the metals are surrounded by the ligands. So there are number of examples we can recognize as a complex salt or coordination complexes. So what is the speciality of complex salt and what is the difference among these two, that is complex salt and double salt? Complex salts are simply the compounds which exist in the crystalline and solution state, but basically when these complex salts dissolve in the particular solvents, so the individual constituents present in that complex or complex salt are not separated, or simply when we take the CT for these individual constituents, the CT will be absent for the individual constituent present in the complex salt, and it will show the CT for whole coordination complex. So what is the basic difference? The individual constituents like metal, whatever it may be, like Fe or cobalt or nickel, which is attached to several ligands, so this will not be separated. And second thing, we cannot be take the CT for these individual molecules like ligand or simply the metal. Now this is not the case with the double salt. The first basic difference among the complex salt and double salt is these double salts exist only in the crystalline solids. When we dissolve this double salt in the form of solid, the individual constituents present in the double salts will be get separated in the form of cations and anions. And when we take the CT, that is confirmatory test for the cations and anions present into that double salt, the CT will be present for individual cations and anions that makes the composition of double salt. So here are the two examples. First one is a KCl MgCl2 6H2O. Another example is a potash alum K2SO4 Al2SO4 thrice 24H2O. So there are so many examples that can be recognized as a double salt. So basic difference among the complex salt and double salt is double salt exists only in the crystalline solid, and when we dissolve this crystalline solid into the solution, the individual cations will be separated and we can take the CT. So here is a small differentiation shown in the slide. So first example, in complex salt, that is what the K3APCN6 when dissolved in the water, it will be not dissociated into individual cations and anions, and simultaneously we cannot take the CT for individual atoms present in that particular complex like Fe or Cn. For whole FeCN6 3 minus we can take the CT. So here in case of double salt, we can see a very simple example of carnallite, that is KCl MgCl2 6 water molecules. When dissolve this carnallite into the aqueous solution, the individual cations and anions will be get separated, and important thing that we can take the CT for potassium or Cl minus or Mg2 plus individually. So very important thing here, the KCl-MgCl2,6H2O exists only in the solid, and when you dissolve this solid into particular solvent, these constituents will be get separated. So this type of compounds are generally called as a double salt. So their individual constituents will be separated in the solvent. We can take the CT. So another important part related to the ligands. So basically we discuss about the ligands. There are types like monodentate, bidentate, polydentate, hexadentate. So there is a one important terminology in case of coordination complexes, and simply it is related to the ligands. So several ligands are called as chelates or chelating ligands. So what are chelates or what are chelating ligands? When the ligands having two or more lone pair of electrons, and these electrons pair donated by these ligands to the metal, and they form the ring like complexes or very stable complexes. This type of ligands possessing two or more than two lone pair of electrons are recognized as chelates or chelating ligands. So in case of coordination chemistry, there are number of examples of ligands that can be recognized as chelates or chelating ligands. So here are very simple examples are given, like ethylene diamine or EDTA. So there are so many examples of these chelating ligands, and why these chelating ligands are form the very stable complexes, because they have more lone pairs to attach to the central metal atom. In terms of Greek terminology, the crab's claw is referred as a chelates. So one more example where we can see that the EDTA, which is having a 6 coordinating side, ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid, which attaches to several metals and form very stable ring like geometry, and these complexes are considered to be very stable complexes. Now one more type of ligand in terms of coordination chemistry, that is recognized as ambidient ligand. So there is a very huge classification of the ligands we already discussed. So one more type of ligand, that is what the ambidient ligand. So basically ambidient ligands are those molecules or the ligand species. In these cases, the particular molecule or ligand molecule has more than two donor atoms, and in actual practice only one metal atom can be attached to the central metal atom via donation of lone pair of electron. So there are several examples of ligand like NO2 or SCN, that is nitrato or thiocyanato. Basically this NO2 has a two donor atoms, nitrogen possessing lone pair, oxygen possessing lone pair, but in actual practice either nitrogen or oxygen can donate the lone pair of electron to the central metal atom. Similarly this SCN, thiocyanato, also has a two donor atoms, one is a nitrogen, another is a sulfur, but in actual practice either sulfur or nitrogen can attach to the central metal atom by donating the lone pair of electron. So this type of ligands possessing two donor atoms but only one can be attached to the central metal atom one time, these ligands are referred as ambidient ligands. So very important concept, in the upcoming video we are going to see IUPAC nomenclature of coordination compounds, and to discuss the perfect IUPAC nomenclature of coordination complexes, one should know how to calculate the charge on the central metal atom, or simply how to calculate the oxidation state. So charge on the central metal atom and oxidation state are the different concept. The charge on the central metal atom is can be calculated by algebraic sum between the oxidation state of central metal atom and the charge possessing by the ligands. So naturally there are three types of ligands we are going to see in the next slide. But what is the charge on the central metal atom or overall complex? So basically it is algebraic sum between the oxidation state of central metal atom and some kind of charge possessed by the ligand. So we will say that there are again three types of ligands that are recognized as a negative ligands or neutral ligands and positive ligands. So at the last of this video we will see the classification. Before moving that, we will see some examples that how to calculate the oxidation state of central metal atom. So here are the some examples from which we can see how to calculate the oxidation state of central metal atom. But to calculate the oxidation state of central metal atom as well as how the charge is resulted on the overall complex, to know this concept we should know the natural charges present on the ligands. So basically there are three types of the ligands: negative, positive and neutral. So here are simple examples that can show how to calculate the oxidation state of central metal atom. So in the second example, that is a COCl63 minus hexachlorocobaltate ion. So here we can see that for cobalt we have to calculate the oxidation state. So we term this cobalt as X. Now this Cl belongs to the halo category. All halo have -1 charge naturally present on these ligand atoms. So -1 charge and 6 chlorine atoms. So -1 into 6. So that will be termed as a -6. So overall X minus 6 is equal to -3. So initially what we have to do, write down the overall charge present on the complex, that is -3, and to the LHS of this equal sign, x minus 6 is equal to -3. So x is equal to -3 plus 6. So as to the RHS of this -6 will become positive quantity. So -3 plus 6, x is equal to +3. So we can see that what is oxidation state of central metal atom, that is a +3. So friends, to know the oxidation state of central metal atom, what we have to do, if there is a charge present on the complex, whatever it may be, positive or negative, so write down to the right hand side, then to the left side, what LHS, to the LHS what we consider, we have to calculate the oxidation state of central metal atom, do the algebraic sum between the ligands attached to the central metal atom, and by doing this algebraic sum we can calculate the oxidation state of central metal atom. So you see that this +6 and or simply the -3 and +6 giving the oxidation to the state to the central metal atom. Similarly in the second example, that is FeNH3 thrice Cl3, actually it is a Cl3 not 3Cl3. So 3 chlorines atoms are there. So we have to calculate the oxidation state of Fe. So assume oxidation state of Fe as X. Amine is a neutral ligand, count 0 for amine, and Cl again a negative ligand possessing -1 charge. So there are 3 Cl, -1 into 3 is equal to 0. As there is no charge on the complex, to the right side write down 0. So what we can do, the algebraic sum, x -1 into 3 -3 is equal to 0. When we shift this -3 to the RHS, it becomes positive quantity. So x is equal to +3. Again iron has a +3 oxidation state. Going to the next complex, example 4, copper hexa aqua chloride. So here again you can see that for copper we can write down the X. Aqua is again neutral ligand possessing the 0 charge, and again chlorine which has a -1 charge. So -1 into 2 is equal to 0. As there is no charge mentioned on the complex, to the RHS side we have to write down the 0 and do the algebraic sum between the particular charges So x minus 2 is equal to 0, x is equal to plus 2. So copper has a plus 2 oxidation state in this complex. Moving further, for the chromium oxalato complex, where is the given charge is minus 3 on the complex. So write down to the RHS side minus 3. Now naturally on oxalato C2O4 2 minus is the charge present. So minus 2 into 3, and for chromium assume x. So x minus 2 into 3 minus 6 is equal to minus 3. So do the algebraic sum, x minus 3 plus 6, x is equal to plus 3. This chromium has a plus 3 charge. So similarly, we have another example. Here we can see that the amine NO2, Cl and cyano are the ligands. So to find out the oxidation state of central metal atom, we should know the natural charges present on the molecules. We can see that the for cobalt assume X, amine again is a neutral ligand, assume 0, NO2 has a minus 1 charge, Cl again has a minus 1 charge, and cyano has a minus 1 charge. As there is no charge on the complex, write down 0 to the RHS side. So basically do the algebraic sum. By doing the algebraic sum, total negative charges are 3. So x minus 3 is equal to 0. So x is equal to again plus 3. So there are number of examples we can solve, but what is the important point? You should know natural charges present on the negative ligand molecules. So I am giving the list at the end of this video. You can see that what kind of the charges present on the ligand molecules. The charge on the central metal atom. So what will be the charge, or what will be the oxidation state of central metal atom when only neutral ligands attach to the central metal atom? So there are two terms here. We will discuss the first A point. There are certain complexes where the neutral ligands may attach to the central metal atom. So in this case, what should be the oxidation state of central metal atom? So remember that to whom this terminology will be applicable, those complexes in which the central metal atom is attached to only neutral ligand molecules. Neutral ligand molecules like carbonyl, pyridine, then water, that is called as aqua, ammonia called as amine, ethylene diamine. So these are several neutral ligand molecules. So when these neutral ligand molecules attach to the central metal atom, in that case assume the oxidation state of the central metal atom as a 0. So in this NiCO4 complex, nickel has a 0 oxidation number. So this is the terminology for neutral ligands attached to the central metal atom. Again you can see that the second example, that CrCO6, that carbonyl is a neutral ligand attached to the chromium metal. In this case also chromium has a 0 oxidation number or oxidation state. Now the second case, it may be possible that the central metal atom possessing the neutral molecules and also bear the positive charge. So in that case, don't go for algebraic sum or mathematical calculation if one has to find the oxidation state of central metal atom, in which condition the central metal atom should attach to the neutral molecules, and if this overall complex central metal atom and neutral molecule has a certain charge, then count this charge directly as oxidation state of central metal atom. So here you can see that the cobalt amine complex possessing the 3 plus charge. Now this 3 plus charge will be considered as a oxidation state of cobalt. So this cobalt in this complex has a plus 3 oxidation state. Another example, we can see that FeH2O6 2 plus. Here also Fe is attached to the neutral ligand molecules like water or aqua. Overall this complex has a plus 2 charge. So we can see that this plus 2 charge will be considered as a oxidation state or oxidation number of central metal atom. Another example, here you can see the Cr ethylene diamine thrice, and overall complex has a 3 plus charge. Again ethylene diamine is a neutral ligand molecule. So overall complex has a plus 3 charge, and this plus 3 charge will be recognized as a oxidation state of central metal atom. So here the list that is giving some common ligands and their charges. So friends, you can see that the neutral ligands, so there are so many examples, but for UG syllabus the list of ligand may be sufficient for IUPAC nomenclature as well as to find the oxidation state of central metal atom. If needed, we can add some more ligands in this classification. So neutral ligands, CO, that is carbonyl, then pyridine, amine, ammonia in terms of ligand is called as amine, then water in terms of ligand called as aqua, then triphenylphosphine, that is PPH3, and ethylene diamine. So these are recognized as the neutral ligands. These are very common ligands in coordination chemistry. And next to the negative ligands, that is what the halo family, that is group number 17 in the periodic table, and this halo family possessing the fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, particularly they are called as halo. So in terms of ligand, fluorine will be called as a fluoro, chlorine will be called as a chloro, bromo and iodo. And again you can see that there are number of ligands like NO2, that is what the nitrato ligand, then thiocyanato, cyano, hydroxo, isothiocyanate, sulfato, oxalato, carbanato, hydrido. These are possessing some kind of the charges. You have to remember these charges while solving the numericals of find out the oxidation state of central metal atom as well as IUPAC nomenclature. And there are some positive ligands, that nitrosonium ion, then ammonium, hydrazinium and hydronium. There are some positive ligands having positive charges. So the classification is based on the charges. Neutral ligand having no charge, negative ligand has a negative charge, and positive ligand has a positive charge. In the next video we will go to solve some examples, or simply we will go for the IUPAC nomenclature of coordination compounds. So friends, keep watching the videos on coordination compounds. Thank you.